Alright, got a little project I'm going to do here, which is going to be to fix up this drill press enough so that I can sell it. I got this drill press a while back. I pulled it out of a basement, and it was practically looked brand new when I got it. It didn't have any of this rust on the chuck that you see now, and rust on the central post, or rust on the foot like that there. But it's been in an unheated garage because I have limited storage space, with the intent of that I was going to get around to fixing it up. I don't need it. It's a Craftsman. It's actually a decent drill press, but I don't need it. I've got plenty of drill presses, so plus I got the milling machine, which I can drill on that. So the reason why I got it so cheap was because the table was broken off. I have the table in the garage still. This casting is broken. So what is clear happened is that at some point this drill press fell over, and when it hit the ground or the floor, it snapped that casting. And the reason why I believe that that's what happened is because also the metal, sheet metal assembly there, which is the belt guard, is all bent up. But I don't think it's going to be too hard to take that off and bend it back enough so that it looks presentable. But the main problem is, of course, drill press isn't much good without being able to mount the table on it, so I've got to come up with a way to fix this casting. So what I want to do now is, because I don't want this whole drill press taking up room in my shop, I want to just take this part of this casting off. It's a large bolt in here. If I take this part of this casting off of here, then I only have to work with this and this in the shop. Go ahead. It's the only socket I have that'll fit that. It's just, don't know why it's an odd size. That's hard. Shouldn't be that hard.
I'm trying my best.
Now you can handle it. Alright, let me see that bolt. So this is 15/16. Man, that's sloppy. But a 22 millimeter and a 24 millimeter won't work. 23 millimeter is not a standard wrench size. That's why I didn't think it would be a 23.
Did we break the last one?
This is crazy. What?
We broke the last one.
Broke the last what?
23 millimeter socket wrench. We were spitting the motor.
You mean socket?
Yeah.
No, 23 is not a common one. If like you look in my full set of Craftsman sockets, like the impact ones,
Yeah.
it literally goes 19, 20, 22, 24.
Yeah, didn't we break one when we were spinning the engine?
I don't think I ever had a 23. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh.
It's not a common size. It's one of those weird sizes. It's like the opposite of a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter is like crazy common. It's like the most common one you use.
Maybe they don't want you taking this apart.
Well, they can't stop us now. All right, so that it doesn't get lost, screw this crazy bolt back in there.
Take this.
Yep.
Take this.
Yes. All right, so I get ready to try and weld this broken casting. And it's two pieces that are broken off of this main piece right here. By design, this space is supposed to be in here, and then what happens is, as you tighten this bolt that goes through here, it squeezes that space closed and has a clamping action on the post of the drill press. As luck would have it, I have this old post from the old Rockwell or Homecraft. That's what it was. It was a Homecraft drill press that I think was made by Rockwell. Doesn't matter. I parted that drill press out because it was a special drill press that was used for mounting to table saws. That's why that base is unusual. And it was worth more in parts than it was as a complete drill press. But I still had the post, and the post is 1 7/8", which is the same size as the post that is on that drill press over in the garage that we're working on. So I'm able to use that kind of as a form. Now, what I was originally going to do was try and clamp both pieces in place simultaneously, but of course, because there's supposed to be a gap here, I have to have a spacer in there. And I've got this parallel in here, and I've tried a couple pieces of shim, and it seems like every time I try and clamp it, I mess up the gaps. So I've decided instead not to really worry about this side at first. I think I'm just going to focus on this. Is closed up pretty good right now, and I've got it clamped with the can't twist clamp. What I'm going to do first, I'm just going to grind a little groove right here and just tack this right there. And then I'll move the clamp and I'll do the same on this side. That's my plan of attack. Then I'll grind this out a little, deeper and try and weld it. I need to try and get a pretty good V in here so that I can grind it, put a pretty good bead in there, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to even get to the inside of this. We'll see. So I was going to use these specialty rods I have for cast iron castings, and then it occurred to me as I was grinding this that I really think this is cast steel. So I'm just going to use what is it, 7014 or whatever the heck it is rod that I have on hand. Well, I just did all of that reclamping and grinding of a new groove and didn't realize I was out of the shot. So anyways, so now I'm going to try and weld this again. Lots of times as that cools, you can actually hear it crack if it's going to crack. Looks better than the last attempt. Let me get a wire brush. I ground the groove on the inside now. Just great. It's starting to rain. Boy, that's one ugly weld. That's actually the better side, if you can believe that. Well, seems pretty strong now. I think it's going to start raining too much, so I'm going to have to pick this up tomorrow. All right. Rain's all moved out, so back to work on this. And what I did was I ground the inside edge that I had welded yesterday flat so that I could get it to fit back on this pipe, and then I got the alignment right where I want it by putting in an old parallel here for this gap, and I got 3 clamps on there. And hopefully that'll keep it all together and steady so that I can now grind out the groove on this side to weld up this side on the outside. That's the thing about lithium-ion batteries. They don't warn you when they're about to fail, they just fail. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. The battery life on these batteries has been fantastic. But that's why I opted for the kit that had 2 batteries with it, because I don't have to wait for a battery to charge. My clamps just in my way a little bit. Son of a gun. I decided today I'm going to try these special cast iron repair rods that I had bought to repair the cast iron legs on my handy lathe. They seem to work really well for that. They're a specialty rod. They say that they're nickel free, and they can be used in AC or DC. They run a little bit lower on amperage for an 1/8 inch rod. I think I'm going to be shooting for around 110 amps. And the other interesting thing about them is they call for reverse polarity instead of straight polarity. And I think, if my understanding correctly, is reverse polarity will cause more of the heat to be in the electrode and not the work. I might be wrong on that, but anyways, I'm going to follow the instructions and use reverse polarity. Hopefully these rods won't be they won't have too much of a problem sticking, because, you know, I'm a noob. I gotta get that amperage up a little bit, I think. Now I'm going to use this grinder, this long shank on it, to try and grind a groove in about halfway. I'll flip it around and do the same thing, and then I'll try and weld it that way. So there's not too much left for me to do to get this Craftsman drill press as far as I want to take it so that I can sell it. It appears clear to me that the reason why that table mount was broken was because this thing had fallen over, because on the head here it's actually in really good condition except for this sheet metal housing for the belts. It's actually pretty badly bent over. The whole thing's kind of tilted here. In the back there's a big gap I can stick my fingers in underneath this edge, so this whole corner here is pushed out this way too far, and there's a big bow in right here. So what I want to do is, it seems like it's dented in really bad right here, right on this back corner. So for starters, I'm just going to try and bang that out and see how that works. It's a little better. Oh, I like it. Right there. I don't want to get too fussy with it. Experience is showing me that sometimes you get it pretty close, and sometimes it's good to quit. Sometimes you keep trying to just fine tune it and, you know, get it perfect and you make it worse than what you started with. Like, I'm tempted to try and get this a little straighter right here, but that might start moving that hinge out of position again. Right now the alignment looks pretty darn good. Now, until you look at it straight from the until you look at it from the view you guys have. Alright, so it's kind of downhill here. Actually, it looks like this whole corner's pulled up. It's almost as if this space is not supposed to be there, but I don't really see what the heck holds this down. There's a bolt underneath here that I can't see under the pulley. I don't know, I think that's going to be good enough. Oh, now the fun part, lifting this heavy head back up onto the drill press post. I really should probably get some help to do this, but you know, I hate to disturb my sons. You know, they're so busy with their online video games and everything, and laying around watching TV. They're all tuckered out from a long day of that. So it looks like the old man will just have to put his back on the line again. Come on. You kidding me? I had it, but the cord was in the way. Oh, here comes one now running down the stairs. Probably to ask what we're having for supper. That's the fastest he's moved all day. Well, there's no keyway or anything. So, before I tighten those screws, I guess I want to make sure this alignment right here is correct. So I'm just going to drop a plumb bob right from a string, right from the chuck, and use the base plate as a guide. I'm glad I decided to check. I was off further than I thought. See? Call 4.5. 2 1/4. Looks good to me. This is supposed to have a light. Oh, it's just a, there's a hole in the casting right here. And I can feel there's a standard bulb outlet up inside there. So I just need to get a, well, you know, it'd be nice, a little compact LED. I don't have any compact LEDs handy down here. I did find this. I've got an old light fixture over there. I had this 40-watt incandescent bulb in it. So that should be good enough for now. Oh, it's on. The socket's a little off center in the hole, so that's why it was hard for me to screw that in. Yeah, could definitely benefit from a nice compact LED flood. I don't know. That's going to be a cheap drill press. So, if I had more time, I would clean it up a little more and fix this broken handle. The elevation crank handle is broken on this thing. It was just plastic, so that's the only other thing it really could use. But I just want to get this thing out of here. Bought this thing so long ago, and it was in much better shape when I got it, actually. Other than being damaged from falling over, all of this surface rust that's on here, that all happened from just being stored in that unheated garage. So I'll go online and I'll look for a 15-inch drill press, see what they're going for, and see what people are asking for them, and then price this as the cheapest one on there just to move it out quick. I decided to take a few minutes and just wipe this down and clean it up a little bit, and that really helps a lot. Makes it a lot better, especially on this chrome here. A lot of this, what I thought was pitting, actually was just grime and stuff that was cleaned off with a Scotch-Brite pad pretty easily. Figure the next thing to do is if I can get rid of some of this surface rust that's on the chuck right here, it would help. Better. All right. I put in a compact fluorescent that I had laying around. So the only thing really left I would have liked to have taken care of on this thing before I decide to sell it is this handle that's broken for the elevation, the crank handle. And I looked online, and you can buy the replacement handle for this as a generic type of crank handle, plastic one like this, from China. And if you want away from the slow boat from China, they're about 12 or 15 bucks. If you want one that's stateside already, it's going to cost you like 20 bucks. And the thing is, I just want to get this thing out of here. It's in my way. I don't really feel like putting like 20 more bucks into this thing. My plan is put it up cheap, bang it out real quick. Hopefully, somebody will buy this thing right away, and they'll get a good deal, and I will be rid of one other thing in my way, and one other project gets completed, which is nice.